Hello there guys, it's Captain Invisible here and welcome to another online battle for Medieval 2 Total War. I hope you've been having a good day. Mine's not been too great, but I thought I would cheer myself up with this quite nice battle. It was honestly one of the better battles I've played, certainly with the Turks, which I'm commanding in this fight. But yeah, it's quite a nice battle, and I thought it would cheer me up commentating on it for you guys. So this was a 2 versus 2. I forget the money, but I think the rules were the standard rules. So max 6 cav, I believe. No artillery, elephants or guns. Yeah, I think that was basically it. And as you can see, we're playing on something that isn't flat, which is actually quite interesting. As much as you'll hear me say, "Oh, this map's crap," or "Oh, you know, this is unbalanced because the map's rubbish," I do like fighting on maps like this, especially at this disadvantage, because it really does allow you to play some quite useful tactics, and it separates those that are willing to play as a team from those that aren't. I certainly in recent times have been a little less of a team player, and I can only apologise for that, but as I say, it's been a rough few weeks for me, so I guess I've been not that up for being all that friendly towards people. But anyway, as I say, I'm in command of the Turks, and my ally for this match was AggonyRipper in command of Poland, and our opponents are Criminal-Copykill in command of the Mongols, and Brancaleone? Yeah, let's go with that. I'm sorry if I slaughter your names. I do apologise, but as I say, it's well, they're not the easiest names to pronounce for someone of my heritage. So yeah, we'll just go with that. For my army, I've got 4 units of Ottoman infantry, great archer units, great infantry units, just great all round. But against Pavi's crossbowmen, they'll get slaughtered, so they don't have that going for them. But yeah, they're pretty decent missile units and quite good in melee. Then I've got 4 units of dismounted Sipahi lancers. They're the top tier spear units the Turks can get are the Sipahi lancers and the dismounted Sipahi lancers and the Saracen militia. I prefer the dismounted Sipahi lancers, even though there's less men in the unit, simply because they seem to do better in melee. I've found. So yeah, they're the better pick than the Saracen militia, in my opinion. Then I've got 3 units of mounted Sipahi lancers, a great sort of lightish cavalry. I've really started liking these guys. They really are quite a nice unit. As I say, I like them over the Allen Light Cav simply because they can hold the ground a bit more. Then I've got 3 units of Nafatoons, a Hashashim to sort of support them, my General's Bodyguard, and on the right flank I've got 2 units of Turkomans, the horse archers. So yeah, we'll be seeing some horse archer action this match. So my ally, AggonyRipper, playing as Poland, has brought 2 units of crossbow militia, and these guys are actually quite good missile units. The kind of resemble peasant crossbowmen, but they've got a higher missile attack, and they are pretty, good units. Cheaper than standard crossbowmen, but I'd say stronger than the crossbow militia. So, I mean the peasant crossbowmen of other nations. So, yeah, quite a nice missile unit, even though they're garbage against just about anything else. For infantry, he's got 4 units of dismounted Polish knights, and then 4 units of woodsmen. Quite a nice combination. The heavier infantry and the light infantry work quite well together, and woodsmen are dirt cheap as well. You can just throw them in, and even if they die, any kills they get are decent. And then on this flank, he's got 2 units of Polish retainers. Quite a nice cavalry unit for Poland, sort of a slightly higher class than the mailed knights of other nations. Then he's got, it looks like, 4 units of dismounted Lithuanian cav. So tons of missiles from a Polish player. You don't ever see that in from more experienced players, but I think AggonyRipper knows what he's doing with this army, so I'll let him just show it off for you. And then he's got, I think, 4 units of Polish knights, and one of them should have his general in. Yeah, this one here. So quite a heavy cavalry force with a heavy set of infantry backing up a huge missile force. So our opponents, Brancaleone. I've got no idea. I'm just gonna call him the Moorish player just to avoid slaughtering his name any more than I already have. So the British player has brought, looks like, 2 units of peasant crossbowmen and 2 units of desert archers. A nice combination of the super-powered peasant crossbows and the desert archers. And then he's got a huge blob of units here. Some Berber spearmen with some Sudanese tribesmen and urban militia with some dismounted Christian guard in the centre. Then he's got, I believe, some mounted Christian guard and a general's bodyguard backing them up. And then 2 units of Arab cavalry on the right flank. So definitely a heavy infantry force, if not slightly weaker than the Polish dismounted knights. And then we'll move on to Criminal-Copykill's army. He's got 4 units of these Mongol foot archers. So they're not that great, these Mongol foot archers, but they are cheap, so they've got that going for them. And certainly if they absorb any missiles from my Ottoman infantry, his stronger missiles will be able to do well. Backing them up, he's got 2 units of Khan's Guard and 4 units of the heavy lancers, dismounted heavy lancers. I don't know who would win between the dismounted heavy lancers and the dismounted Sipahi lancers. That would be a decent fight to test out, actually. And then behind them, he's got 2 units of Mongol infantry, so similar to my Ottoman infantry, sort of dual-purpose melee archer units. And then 4 units of Nafatoons. And the remainder of his cavalry is a general's bodyguard, and then 2 units of light lancers. And I thought he had a horse archer somewhere. Maybe not. Maybe it'll pop up somewhere later on. So, we shall start the battle. So, as you can see, certainly from my starting position, the enemy has, certainly on this side, has a huge hill advantage. Marching into this ditch would just be suicide, certainly given all the missiles that the enemy has. so we have to formulate a plan of attack, and fortunately me and AggonyRipper were sort of in discussion about this. Not a lot of players are willing to discuss battle plans, so it was good for us to sort of formulate a plan of attack. That looks like a Mongol cavalry unit. That's probably the horse archers. Yeah, Mongol horse archers. So I knew he had some horse archers. He's positioned them all the way on this flank, presumably to shoot at anything that comes down this way, if I decided to outflank. So what I think I decide to do in a little bit is I decide to move this way behind AggonyRipper and position my army over here where the terrain's a lot flatter, and it looks like Criminal-Copykill has anticipated this and has moved his army over to join up with the Moorish player. Yeah, he's just joined his lineup, but I think he may want to push up further this way with his force. So yeah, in a short while I'll move all my units over to this flank behind AggonyRipper's forces. Yeah, I think it's Brancaleone. Sorry, I really want to get his name right, because I think it's unfair for me to call the other players by their names and not the Moorish player. So yeah, Brancaleone we'll go with. If I'm butchering the name, I apologise, but as I say, English is my first language, and even then I don't do too well with it. So yeah, put it down to the accent. It's all the accent's fault. So my army's just going to march through AggonyRippers, and one thing I did notice actually about certainly Medieval 2 Total War is the individual units kind of, as they're moving through other units, they kind of move out of the way of the unit. I thought that was quite clever. I was sort of down at this level watching my Ottoman infantry sort of walk through these heavy knight formations, and instead of sort of bashing through them or walking, sort of ghosting through them, they kind of walk through and past all the men. So it's like, oh, there's a man blocking me, I kind of walk around him, and I thought that was really realistic. It kind of gives you a sense that, you know, these are actually real people ready to die in my name. So yeah, it was quite a nice thing to watch. I really did enjoy it, and then the cavalry just come through and just like bulldoze over everything. No, yeah, certainly Medieval 2 Total War got some of the animations and kind of the unit interaction quite right, actually. It's a shame that the branch that made this game closed down 2011, I think, because they should have really given them a chance to make another game, because this, if they would have made another game similar to Medieval 2 Total War, I think they could have got it so right. I mean, a lot of the newer Medieval 2 Total Wars are a bit too arcadey. This one just feels all gritty, and as I say, the unit movements are just so very realistic, and you can really feel for these men as they're about to perish. So, as I say, I moved all the way from, I think I started off here, I kind of moved all the way over, and AggonyRipper's, I think, joined me as well. He's moving his forces, and we're just going to move all the way so that to this terrain where it's nice and flat. And it looks like our opponents are sort of mirroring our movements. Looks like he's moved his archers back behind his spearmen, presumably expecting a cavalry charge. So, you know, a great bit of a sort of almost micromanagement there. I mean, a lot of people don't expect a cavalry charge like that, but I'm glad he's thinking about it and having his spearmen up front, and then he's going to move his archers back to the front now that the danger of moving is over. So it looks like the Moors are moving into range. I don't think they're quite in range just yet. They don't have quite that good range, and now the terrain's flattened out. In fact, it might slightly be in the Polish favour. Yeah, as soon as you get to this position, it's actually slightly in Poland's favour. So if they were to attack us, they would actually be going uphill, and if we were to attack them, we would also be going slightly uphill. So yeah, even though it's evened out, there's still a ditch here that's sort of acts as a disadvantage. So Criminal-Copykill is sending over some horse archers to pick away at these Polish retainers. He wants to get some shots off against these demi knights, kind of give them a bit of harassment. AggonyRipper doesn't want to chase them though, get into a fight with these horse archers, so he backs off, and I rush my Turkmens over, who are much more capable of facing off against horse archers. So he's going to pull his Polish retainers all the way out. Only suffered one loss so far, so you know, it's been a very uneventful skirmish by the Mongols. My Turkmens are going to set up on this hill and just watch over this flank where the Mongol horse archers are going to be sort of in position. And then it's just a case of a big standoff. AggonyRipper was saying that if they attacked us, they would suffer. You know, if they wanted a skirmish fight, they would suffer because we have more missiles. I disagree. We only really had slightly more missiles, and to be fair, their missiles are quite a bit more effective than ours. I mean, even these Mongol foot archers could give any of the Polish missiles a run for their money. So even though we had a slightly more missile advantage, these Polish missiles are really garbage. So you should never really class it as an advantage to have any sort of Polish missile unit. The only thing he's got here is numbers, and it works to some extent, but really Poland is quite a rush-orientated faction with its heavy knights and even its heavy foot knights, which are chivalric knight class units. You don't want to do too much in the way of skirmishing with them. Still, the forces are lining up. English is bad. Sorry. The forces are lining up to engage. It looks like the Mongols have gone all the way over to this side. I think, however, he's moving back for some strange reason. Yeah, I think he's going to move back, realising that actually on this side he actually has a distinct hill disadvantage. so he doesn't want to get too far over on that side. He wants to stay at this point. And now the Moors are going to rush up to engage with missiles. I've sent my Turkmens over to harass this flank whilst they are moving up. I don't think I've had too much success. I think I've just been firing at some of these, maybe some of these spearmen. I think I was just firing into this blob here. But I'm going to move them up, and I think I positioned them on this hill just to, or I positioned them on the hill in a bit just to act as a, almost a bait slash, just being there. I mean, horse archers being in your rear is always a bad idea, or bad thing to have happen to you, should I say. And it can really throw some players off. So we've got the Mongols reacting with their own horse archers, but they're 2 versus 1 against my Turkmens and are actually getting cut down pretty bad. This Turkmen is also getting fired on by Ottoman infantry, which again is not too great for it, but I say eventually I'm just going to pull them all back to this small hill here and just watch over the enemy from this flank. It looks like he's positioned some Mongol light lancers on this flank, presumably just to watch out for my Turkmens. But they're going to become now a target for my own Turkmens. And we're going to start firing at these Mongol light lancers, and these lightly armoured lancers are going to take some damage from my Turkmens. So the missile fight is going to ensue in earnest. My Mongol infantry is probably one of the most superior units on this battlefield, but instead the enemy decides just to charge up, so I'm going to return their charge with one of my own. My Sapai lancers, being quite fast, are going to charge into the enemy and catch them with a nice charge, and we're going to halt the enemy cavalry there and swoop around with another unit into the flank of these heavy Mongol cavalry. And then as quickly as we attacked, we're going to pull out and send our spearmen in as a second wave of attack, followed by the Polish infantry to catch these Moorish infantry off guard. And we're going to swamp these Mongol heavy cavalry and the Moorish light cavalry with our Sapai lancers and our dismounted Sapai lancers. So the fight is in full force. The Moors have quite a nice line here, supported by some dismounted heavy lancers, and with the Nafatoons coming in, something has to give on this flank. Fortunately, my own Nafatoons are now in position, and we're gonna fight fire with fire. So we're gonna have a big Nafatoon fight. We managed to break the enemy cavalry on this flank, the Mongol cavalry, and we managed to break through with some of our own cavalry and spearmen, just to pin down the rest of this enemy cav, some Moorish and some Mongolian cavalry. And our Turkmens in the back, as you can see, are still firing at some of these heavy cav units. So it looks like we managed to get a breakthrough on this flank, so we're going to be able to push up and start to hit these units from the flank. Nafatoons are still going in. I'm targeting this flank, I think, of this sort of heavy spearman unit with my Nafatoons, and these Nafatoons are firing into these heavy knights. The Polish cavalry has gone unopposed and is now in the back lines, where it's going to cause some mayhem. my own cavalry has managed to break the enemy's cav and is now going to be charging into these the last remaining Khan's guard and hopefully hitting some of these arch units, which are trying very desperately to give some supporting fire to their cavalry units. And all the while my Ottoman infantry have been firing as well, so you know, I've had my Ottoman infantry firing all over this way, and it's just caused just so much devastation. That, along with the Polish charge and now cavalry in the rear, the enemy really suffering on this flank. My Hashashim have got into the mix, and they do very well against just about any unit. These little armour units are going to get shredded by my Hashashim, who basically don't give a crap. And my general is now going to go into the mix and get rid of some of these archers and just clear a way for our infantry.
We have cut off the serpent's head. The enemy general is slain.
Looks like the Mongols give a push here with their spearmen, but the death of the Mongol general will not be good for the Criminal-Copykill's army. I've still got some Sipahi lancers left. They're going to do some charges against some of these archers and Nefertunes, where the Polish knights are just free to do as they please, and what they please is to kill enemy generals and archers.
Only half the enemy force remains.
So we've got these spearmen exactly where they do not want to be, between dismounted Polish knights and Hashashim. And these Hashashim are now inside the spearmen formation, so they're just going to cut straight into them. And then a charge from my dismounted Sipahi lancers from both sides should break these heavy spearmen.
Enemy general is slain. Let's see how our enemy flees before us like a herd of goats. Drive them from the battle.
So yeah, that is pretty much the battle. My Turkmens are just gonna try and get rid of these enemy horse archers, but I think they eventually break shortly with taking casualties and with army losses. So again, a really nice battle. The positioning was really great from us, and the having cavalry in the back lines really hurt our opponents. I think they did say that it was poor play by them, but as I say, we all have our bad games. I think this was just Copykill's and Brancaleone's bad game for the evening. I'm sure they had some great games when we played this one as well. In fact, I can't remember whether they beat us in one of the games we played. It's very possible, but yeah, it may have just turned out to be a bad game for them. You know, as I say, we all have them. It happens to the best of us. But yeah, it was a good game for me anyway, so hence why I've decided to upload it. It certainly made me feel better about my games, because I've had some really bad ones recently, really truly terrible. So yeah, it was definitely a good game from my perspective. So I deployed 791 men and killed 827 with 219 captures. AggonyRipper deployed 1081 men and killed 645 and captured 206. Criminal-Copykill deployed 901 men and killed 433 and captured 12. And Brancaleone deployed 1,151 men, killed 374 and captured 30. So we shall take a look at the individual unit statistics. Casualties inflicted. So my cavalry did quite well. My cavalry was definitely quite a strong factor in this match. My Ottoman infantry, as I say, went unopposed, so they just were racking up the kills. They were just free to do as they pleased. Nafatoon's getting a couple of kills. They were probably mainly there to scare away the enemy, though. So the best unit on my side was probably this unit of Sapai Lancers, which doesn't surprise me at all. They were, as I say, just free to do as they please in the back lines, and obviously the enemy archers were there, and they took advantage of that. But yeah, it was a really good game in the way that we positioned ourselves quite well, and then forced the enemy to attack us in a situation where they did not want to be in. So I think, I don't know whether my horse archers contributed to that. In fact, how many kills did my Turkmens get? Yeah, respectable kills, 25 and 39. Considering that they are quite cheap horse archers, so they performed admirably in this match, and certainly they would have forced the issue a lot more. But yeah, forcing the enemy into our missiles was definitely key to this battle, and the rush from them was stopped by my Sapai Lancers enough for my infantry to get in, and for the Polish infantry to clash with the Moorish infantry. So it all went pretty much to plan. We kind of expected that much, so yeah, it was a really good battle, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the battle, and as I say, I look forward to bringing you some more battles. This one was really interesting, and I've got some more lined up for you in my saved replays, so I shall try and get those uploaded as soon as possible. But for now, thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you all in the next video.